Imagine someone you trust more than anyone else. A partner, a companion, the person you've built your life with. Now, what if that very person was hiding a secret that could destroy it all? For years, Susan Chin lived in what seemed like an ordinary family life. A nurse, a mother of 5, married to the man she thought she knew. But hidden behind the walls of their Toronto home was a story no one expected to uncover. A story of betrayal, violence, and death. Susan's life wasn't just taken, it was shattered by someone who had a dark side no one saw coming. But this isn't your typical crime of passion. Mansoor Jalali, the man convicted of her death, had secrets that turned this tragedy into a case unlike any other. And what's more shocking? He showed no remorse. Did you know that during the trial, while Susan's family sought justice, Mansoor never admitted guilt? Not once. As if the crime itself wasn't enough, the trial revealed chilling details about what led to that fateful night in April 2019, details that stunned everyone in the courtroom. Today we're uncovering what really happened to Susan Chin, the double life Mansoor tried to hide, and how a horrific crime exposed the truth in ways you won't soon forget. Welcome to True Crime Alibi, your go-to source for deep dives into real criminal cases that leave you questioning what you thought you knew about trust and truth. If true crime stories like this captivate you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're just getting started. Now let's start at the beginning. Susan Chin wasn't just a name in the headlines, she was a mother of 5, a nurse at Toronto's renowned hospital for sick children, and a woman who dedicated her life to caring for others. To understand her story, we need to go back to the life she built before it all fell apart. Born and raised in a tight-knit immigrant family, Susan grew up valuing hard work, loyalty, and family bonds. She had a nurturing spirit from a young age, often helping her parents care for her younger siblings. Those who knew her in high school described her as someone who could light up a room. She had a contagious smile and an innate ability to make people feel seen and cared for. This warmth naturally drew her toward a career in nursing. As a nurse at Toronto's hospital for sick children, Susan was nothing short of a role model. Colleagues admired her dedication, often noting how she went the extra mile for patients and their families. She specialized in pediatric care and worked with children facing life-threatening illnesses. The emotional weight of her job never seemed to break her. Instead, it fueled her compassion. When her shifts ended, she would return home to a bustling household filled with the joyful chaos of 5 children. Her children were her pride and joy. Whether it was helping them with homework, attending soccer games, or simply cooking their favorite meals, Susan made sure her kids felt supported and loved. Friends remember her as a devoted mother who lived for her family, someone who found joy in the small, everyday moments. She had dreams of taking the entire family on a trip back to her ancestral village in China, hoping to reconnect her children with their heritage. But behind the warmth of her home life and the satisfaction of her career, trouble was brewing. Her marriage to Mansoor Jalali wasn't as picture-perfect as it seemed. In public, they were a typical suburban couple, but privately, Susan struggled with the growing distance between them. She often confided in her close friends about the arguments that had become more frequent, and at times, more heated. Still, she hoped things would improve. For the sake of her children, she was willing to fight for her marriage. Sadly, she never got the chance to see that fight through. Susan's life was full of meaning, but tragically, it was also full of secrets that would come to light only after her death. Her story is one of love, dedication, and ultimately betrayal. By April 2019, Susan's life had taken a dangerous turn, one that she likely didn't see coming. But how did this seemingly ordinary couple reach such a devastating end? To understand, we need to look closer at who Susan and Mansoor really were. It was a cold spring evening on April 15, 2019, when police were called to a modest home in Scarborough, a neighborhood just outside Toronto. Inside they found a scene of horror. Susan Chen's body lay lifeless in her bedroom, showing signs of a violent sexual assault and fatal injuries. Neighbors had heard nothing unusual. There was no forced entry and no signs of an intruder. It was as though the danger had come from within the home. When police entered, Mansoor Jalali, Susan's husband, was in the house. His calm demeanor struck investigators as odd. There were no signs of grief or panic. His story? He claimed that Susan's death was an accident. But the evidence would soon suggest otherwise. Forensics revealed injuries consistent with a brutal assault. The medical examiner confirmed that Susan had died from asphyxiation, and it was clear that this wasn't a random crime. Suspicion quickly fell on Mansoor, but what could have driven him to commit such an atrocity against the mother of his children? The investigation into Susan's death began immediately, and detectives were determined to uncover the truth. As they interviewed friends, family, and neighbors, a disturbing pattern began to emerge. Susan had confided in close friends about problems in her marriage. She had grown distant from Mansour in recent years, and arguments had become more frequent. But the most shocking discovery came when police examined Mansour's digital footprint. They found evidence suggesting he had been leading a secret life. Mansour was involved in multiple same-sex affairs, something he had hidden from his family. His search history revealed visits to dating websites and interactions with other men. It became clear that his marriage to Susan had been strained under the weight of his hidden identity. Investigators now had a motive. Mansour had been living a lie, and Susan's discovery of his secret could have pushed him over the edge. But proving it in court would be a challenge. Without a confession, prosecutors needed solid evidence to link Mansour directly to the crime. Lesser-known details revealed that Susan had discovered Mansour's infidelity weeks before her death. According to a close friend, she had planned to confront him and discuss a potential separation. Did this confrontation escalate into violence? Detectives believed it was likely. By the time Mansour's trial began, the courtroom was packed. The prosecution painted a chilling picture of a man desperate to maintain control of his double life. They argued that Mansour had attacked Susan in a fit of rage after she confronted him about his affairs. Forensic evidence was crucial in tying him to the crime. DNA samples, phone records, and text messages formed a web of proof that was hard to ignore. But perhaps the most unsettling part of the trial was Mansour's demeanor. Witnesses described him as emotionless, even cold. He never apologized, never expressed remorse, and maintained his innocence throughout. The defense argued that Susan's death was accidental and that Mansour had no intention of harming her. But the evidence told a different story. A key moment came when prosecutors revealed Mansour's search history from the night before the murder. Among the searches, how to strangle someone without leaving marks and how long does it take to suffocate someone. This damning evidence left little doubt in the jury's mind. The trial also brought forward lesser-known facts, including how Mansour had tried to cover up his involvement by staging the crime scene to make it look like a break-in. But inconsistencies in his story were quickly exposed by investigators. Narrator. After weeks of testimony, the jury reached a verdict. Mansour Jalali was found guilty of manslaughter. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison, a punishment that many considered too lenient given the brutality of the crime. For Susan's family, the verdict brought some closure but not the justice they had hoped for. Mansour's lack of remorse continued to haunt the family. He showed no emotion as the sentence was read, and to this day he maintains that he is innocent. But the evidence speaks for itself, and Susan's memory lives on through her children and those who loved her. The case has since become a tragic example of how hidden lives and secrets can lead to devastating consequences. Susan Chen's death wasn't just a crime, it was a reminder of the importance of recognizing the signs of domestic abuse and the danger of secrets left unchecked. What do you think? Should Mansour Jalali's sentence have been longer, or was justice served? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever known someone living a double life that shocked you? Share your story, you never know who it might help. And if you're finding this story as chilling as we do, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories of true crime cases that reveal the hidden truths of the world. Today, we uncovered the tragic story of Susan Chen, a woman whose life was taken by someone she trusted most. We explored the secret life of Mansour Jalali, the investigation that revealed the shocking truth, and the trial that left an indelible mark on those who followed it. But our exploration of secrets and hidden lives doesn't end here. Next, we'll uncover the untold story of another case that will leave you questioning how well you know those closest to you. Stay tuned. And before you go, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to True Crime Alibi for more gripping stories like this one.